Hey guys, and welcome back. And today we're going to have a great deal of fun for you, because coming up we're going to be checking out this Harley Benton Talk Box. Coming right up. Yeah, these things are quite an anathema because they're very much misunderstood, but they are absolutely fantastic fun for beginners, but they are notoriously difficult to master. They were originally made popular in the 1970s by people like Joe Walsh, Peter Frampton. Probably the most famous song is Show Me the Way by Peter Frampton, and also of course Stevie Wonder, which alludes to its many uses. Most recently, of course, you'll probably remember it being used by Richie Sambora on the Bon Jovi hit Living on a Prayer. Now, these things are notoriously easy to misunderstand because we as guitar players are used to getting little pedals and having to put them in the signal chain between our guitar and our amplifier. Now, this is no different because it's got an input and an output for the guitar source. So basically from the guitar input and out to the amplifier. But our process signal is nothing to do with that chain. The unit is either on or it's off. And when it's off, it just sends your guitar straight to the guitar amplifier. But when it's on, the amplifier is isolated and no longer in the circuit, which is really easy to misunderstand. I watched a hilarious video by fellow YouTuber Music Is Win, where he made the simple mistake, really easy mistake, of thinking that the signal was going to come through and into the amplifier and didn't quite understand the idea of this. Now, this little thing here is a speaker. It's a tiny little speaker that's in here, which feeds the audio signal into a tube. Now, that tube has to come and get attached to a microphone stand and up and past the microphone, which we will do. And what happens is you put that into your mouth. So this little speaker is sending a signal direct into your mouth, which is then picked up by the microphone. So it's absolutely vital to have a microphone included in this setup. And today we're using my favorite little microphone, my favorite SM57 alternative, and that's the Lewitt LTP 440. Love this mic. I'll make sure I link it in the description down below as well. So many people get mixed up between this and the sound of a vocoder, which is a synth instrument that was originally started around 1920 and was used for communications. And what that did is very similar to what most people think this does, which is to affect the tone by the use of a voice. But with this, you've just got a single input from an instrument, and with a vocoder, you have two separate instruments. You have a musical instrument, and then you have your voice, which goes in through a separate microphone. And through VCAs and DCAs, which are digitally controlled amps and voltage controlled amps, usually what happens is you've got a modulator and a carrier with a vocoder. So one tune or one tone will be the modulated tone and one tone will be the carrier tone. Usually with a vocoder, studio engineers tend to make the musical instrument, so a keyboard or something like that, or even a guitar, make that the carrier tone, and then the modulator tone comes from the microphone and what you say into it. Now, if you can imagine, they're both waves, and what modulation does is it changes the envelope type sound of the carrier tone. And actually this works very similar, but it's much more practical and not done in the digital domain like a vocoder. This is done literally all in your mouth, using the shape of your mouth and the cavities in your mouth and the way that you hold your mouth of different vowel sounds to affect the signal. So it kind of does modulate the carrier signal, but it's totally analog. So this little beast comes with its own 12-volt adapter. It also comes with the tube to go up and connect your microphone into your microphone stand and into your mouth. And it comes with a very simple set of controls. You've got gain, because you have to have the distortion tone. If you want a bit of gainy distortion coming out, it has to come out of this little speaker. You've got tone, which is exactly what it says on the tin. So basically, that will affect either the bassiness or the trebleness of it. And then finally, volume. And actually, that's really fixed to taste. I have found that if you have the volume too high, it doesn't sound as good. And what's more, because effectively it's sending waves of audio into your mouth, I found that with prolonged use at high volume, I can actually get indigestion, because it seems to push air into my mouth, and when I'm shaping my mouth, some of that goes down and into my I'm whacking my microphone, into my esophagus, and that has caused me to get a little bit of indigestion. So I would strongly recommend that you set this no more than 50% in the 12 o'clock position in the middle. So yeah, definitely be careful with that, because it shouldn't damage you, it shouldn't hurt your voice, it shouldn't give you indigestion, but at high volumes, like anything, a little bit too much can be too much. The great thing with this, of course, is that it's not just for guitar. It can sound really, really awesome on keyboard tones as well. And that's exactly, as I was alluding to earlier, how Stevie Wonder used it to great effect. Also, being the very strange person that I am, I decided today to try this out on my drums. So there it is, the Harley Benton Talk Box. This retails at 99 GBP, and I'll link it in the description down below if you've enjoyed it and fancy trying one out for yourself. It certainly would be a little bit of a fun Christmas present to add to the stocking of any guitar player. I am far from mastering this, but it is a lot of fun to play around with. So I really hope you found this video interesting and helpful, and if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a like, because I really appreciate that, and it helps the channel. It helps the channel more as well if you share it with mates that you think might enjoy it as well. I'll be back on Sunday live, and I've got a Christmas tune that I wrote for my daughter to sing, and so we'll be playing that live on Sunday show, usual time, usual place. 6:30 UK time. I hope you can join me for that, and we always have a great deal of fun on the live shows. I'll be back with the very best content, Christmassy or otherwise, that I can really soon. But in the meantime, as always, my friends, you take really good care.